How big are your stakes? It's a popular topic that comes up time and time again. However, when it comes to trading the Cheltenham Festival on Betfair, everything goes out the window and you may as well start again. Because using bigger stakes doesn't necessarily just mean bigger profits. It means severe pain if you stake too much in the wrong place at the wrong time. So in this clip, I'm going to share a few thoughts about reasonable staking levels, how much you can stake throughout the entire week of the Cheltenham Festival, and how much I've personally staked myself in the past over the Cheltenham week. So the festival's upon us once more, hence the clip. And within this clip, I'm going to address two main points. The first one being reasonable stakes and how much you can use throughout the week. And the second one being my own personal staking in the past over the Cheltenham Festival. So some of you might actually be surprised at the answers I give throughout this clip. So be sure to watch it all the way through to the end. Now the first thing, I want to get straight on with it, is how much can you possibly stake during the Cheltenham Festival? And everybody's style and approach is going to be slightly variable. So I'll try and give the best answer I can, but I will include figures because I know that, when people watch these videos, they're always looking for a figure, some kind of guideline, something that they can relate to. So first of all, you want to be risk averse throughout the week, no matter what you do. There's no point taking excessive risk, whether it's Cheltenham week or any other week. It varies heavily depending on the trading situation, but as a nice round number, most of the time during most active trading windows at the Cheltenham Festival, you can stake up to about £1,000 quite reasonably without excessive risk, providing you're not trading runners at extremely high prices. Your style will make a big difference on how much you can stake and how much it's safe to stake. So, if you're looking for a longer term move, and you're swing trading, which is probably less favourable, generally speaking, over the Cheltenham Festival, then you can use larger stakes. Reason being, you've got a longer time to get in, longer time to get out, you've got more money against it, and your edge is dependent more on the price moving heavily. So stakes don't come into it as much. The next thing to mention, I suppose, that goes hand in hand with that is scalping. Scalping's highly popular anyway. It's more popular over the Cheltenham Festival for very good reason. More money is turned over in a shorter time frame, and scalping relies on liquidity within the market. So if you don't scalp, you might want to think about just adapting your style a little bit more so you do scalp a little bit more, in which case you can absorb that liquidity and that's going to be more beneficial to you. Now the stakes with that, like I say, is that kind of arbitrary figure of about £1,000. That's usually okay. To be open either side of the either one side of the book or the other at any one point in time, a maximum of about £1,000 is usually okay during the Cheltenham week, particularly on the Cheltenham races. No, I'm talking about the Cheltenham races here, not the ones in between. More on that in a second, because you will get stung on that if you use the wrong stakes. So low stakes is usually where I start on any sort of race, like 100 quid, 200 quid, just working into it there. If it's your first Cheltenham and you've not experienced the markets before, then they're going to be a lot more solid, they're going to be a lot more liquid, there's going to be a lot more unmatched money too, which means that there's going to be more weighting in queue positions. Potentially you might want a larger balance, not because you're going to bet a larger balance, but because you're going to have more money stacked within the markets and those queue positions. But at the end of the day, the lower the stakes you use, the more efficient that you're more likely to be and the less margin for error there is. Okay, people always think using larger stakes is a massive advantage, and yes, you can make money quicker with larger stakes, but the larger your stakes you use, the more you decrease the edge, so the harder it becomes. So that's just to clear up sort of a reasonable levels there. You can use more than £1,000, obviously, within bespoke situations, premium races, premium features throughout the week, like the Gold Cup, for example. The second point being my personal staking throughout the week. So talking from experience here, it varies on three main things. The amount of opportunity that is within that given situation, that trade, that market. The event, which I've just touched on previously there. So for example, the Gold Cup is more beneficial. It's a better event to target in terms of liquidity and turnover to be trading and using larger stakes. there's more money being matched, there's more fill in the market, and finally style, which again I've already touched on. So you want to factor that into your entire thing, or that's what I've done in the past, and I found that that's what works. And going against those sort of three principles in terms of selecting larger stakes is a mistake. Just for sort of like fun's sake of the video, the largest open position I've ever had at Cheltenham was probably about 15 grand, just over 15 grand I think on one side of the book. I wouldn't advise that. That did sort of get stress levels at an all-time high. It was a very bespoke situation, and I've done very well out of it, and I made a lot of profit out of that situation. At the time though, I remember doing it going, oh, I overstaked there, I didn't need to go for quite so much. I don't regret it looking back, because obviously I come out on the right side of it, but that could have gone horribly wrong. So sort of like, just to give you an idea of the amount of money that you can have in the market and not have the whole thing turn on its head, particularly when momentum's on your side and all that kind of good stuff. On average, I usually start with sort of 100, 200 quid stakes very early on the Cheltenham markets, placing them nice positions early on. Yeah, okay, you're only going to make like a £5 a tick, or £3 a tick sometimes on those little stakes early on. But I'm talking per click. So you start 200, then you click twice, 400, 600, 800, and so on and so forth. So typically that's the kind of stuff that I would use to warm up. Once the market is more active and the market's mature, I'm talking within the active trading window, the countdown to post, when the media's on, there's a lot more coverage and hype and all that kind of stuff. Because where there's hype, there's always opportunity, right? Like, hype is basically when other people start being foolish and they start giving away value, and that's where you soak it up. Once the market becomes more active like that, £1,000 up to £3,000, sort of either side of the book, scalping regularly, that can work quite well at Cheltenham, and you're not going to massively overexpose yourself. However, like I say, it's very variable depending on the situation. You don't want to be doing it 20 minutes out, because you're going to stitch yourself right up if you're staking too soon, too early. You don't want to be doing it on the filler races in between, because there will be more sort of experienced traders hanging around and catching people out and all that kind of stuff. The markets can't cope with it as such. So just because you've gone from trading Cheltenham at say 10 past 2, the 20 minutes past 2 race at, I don't know, Sedgefield or wherever else is not going to be the same. So don't get caught in the mindset of I'm going to do that on all of them and getting stung in between. Sorry, veering off on a tangent there. Much more than £3,000 per trade open, sort of scalping and being active around the prices, it usually has to be a special situation, or it has been in the past historically. I've pushed the boundaries, like I say before, I've made mistakes, I've gone slightly over, and usually they come from overexposing yourself by staking too much. I guess the thing to remember here, without going too far off on a tangent, is that at the end of the day, your staking has to be in line with the opportunity in the market. Okay, if you start staking because you want to stake more and you want to make more money, that isn't an opportunity. There needs to be opportunity within the market. So prime time Cheltenham, right down at post time, and there's just heaps of money flying into the market either side. That's when the most opportunity is. Like I say, not trying to scalp it 20 minutes out. You're going to shoot yourself well and truly in the foot doing that. But start small, and just remember, at the end of the day, if you can't make profit on £20 a click or £50 a click, there's no point trying on 200, 400, 600, 1,000. Okay, the bigger your stakes get, the harder it becomes, or not so easy to get them through the market without overexposing yourself. If you want extra help, then check the link in the description below. We'll put a link to some scalping articles in there throughout Cheltenham for the rest of the week.